So to have confidence in your prudent diversified investment strategy, you have to know how wealth is created. And it's not created by those experts that we showed you on TV. It's just not. It's created by all the entrepreneurs, the businesses, the scientists, the engineers, and the workers working every single minute of every single day all around the world. They give us safer transportation, faster communications, miracle drugs, medical devices, more powerful computers, and millions of new products and services that are better, cheaper, and longer lasting. Think about your car 20 years ago. Think about your car today, right? So now it brings us to the financial capital. When we invest, our money goes into places like London, New Delhi, Madrid, Amsterdam, Vienna, all these businesses and all these great cities all around the world. Rome, Tokyo, New York, Hong Kong. Now free markets, right, they create things, right, they encourage competition and experimentation, but they also disrupt and destroy things, right? If companies no longer serve the individual, they become extinct. Remember when we were developing film, right? You go in and you bring it into Thrifty's or the drugstore, and you drop it off, and a week later you go pick it up, and then you see your thumb is in half the pictures. Right? And then they develop these things, you can get them back in one day to see your thumb is in half the pictures. Now you get them instantly on your cell phones, and you can delete the ones that have your thumb in their picture. With free markets, there is creative destruction. Look at all these things that could fit into the palm of your hand right now. All those things, recorders and video cameras and just all kinds of just crazy things. And then Tower Records got destroyed by iTunes. Why go to buy records when you can get it, download it onto your MP3 player at that time? But then iTunes started having a risk. Spotify and Pandora and all these streaming radio channels, you can get tens of thousands of songs and listen to them for free if you accept the advertising, or you could pay a subscription fee of $9 a month and you can get unlimited music and listen to it. Well, instead of getting destroyed, Apple decided to go along. They didn't want to be part of that creative destruction, so they got Apple Music. So you either got to innovate or die in a free market economy, right? Saw him take off. Blockbuster was crushed by Netflix. How many got encyclopedias in there? Yeah? They're nice to look at, but not good to use anymore. Wikipedia crushed the business. You can get all that information online for free. Here's the next one. Taxis have a great risk of being crushed by Uber and services like them. Because when you get an Uber, the drivers rank the passengers and the passengers rank the drivers. So you can get an Uber and look for a 5-star driver that has a nice car and is always pleasant to you, right? And then same thing, the drivers can always, oh, that passenger, oh, he threw up in the car, that guy, I'm not going to pick him up, right? But you get a taxi, you never know what you're going to get. It could be dirty, filthy mess, right? And then here's another one that might be going out the window. Now they have the keypads, but they still have a key just in case. But now the cell phone is becoming the key. Okay, there will be setbacks along the way. Look at all these companies that filed for bankruptcy. A lot of well-known companies and a lot of others that aren't on this screen. General Motors and Chrysler, even though they're still in business, they wiped out the stockholders. Stockholders went to zero. Now they're back in business and there's new stockholders. Same thing with Kmart. Stockholders went to zero and then they're back in business. They're probably going to go to zero again though, it looks like. Don't bet on that prediction, by the way. Okay. And then this is 2015. We saw Radio Shack and Quicksilver and Sky Mall, 25 years. You know, you go into planes and see those. You go into a plane lately, they're not there anymore. Because they creative destruction, right? You go in, you see those magazines. You ordered from Sky Mall, but now everybody's got internet access on the plane. You see the price in Sky Mall, you find it on Amazon for $30 cheaper. they weren't getting the business. And then 2016, the oil prices went down for a time, right? They came crashing down to below $30 a barrel. A lot of smaller oil companies went bankrupt. You can't predict this stuff. But there's never been a 10-year period in modern history where there hasn't been chaos and pain and human suffering and tragedy. And I could probably say you can shrink that down to a 1-year period, right? Regardless, we find a way. This was the 2008 financial crisis, and then look at these levels. 15,000, 16,000, 17,000, 18,000, 19,000 on the Dow Jones. Now we just crossed 20,000. Someday it will hit 30. Who knows when, but it will. We just don't know when. And then every once in a while you get some good advice from some of these talking heads on financial TV. Here's Neil Cavuto back in 2015.
A lot of folks and a lot of shows focus on the tick-for-tick movement in the Dow, but given the last couple of weeks, I can well understand that. But regular viewers of this show should know what I always try to remind people. A market in a moment is like a snapshot. Once snapped, it's shot, it's done. That's why I keep a chart of the Dow in my office, actually a ways from my desk, that shows how the Dow performed over the last century. That chart goes up. But when you get closer to the chart, you see these huge gyrations. Huge. Now you can get fixated in the gyrations, and many shows and networks do, as we should in the moment. But always remember, it's the moment. And the trend is your friend.
Yeah, that's so true. If we take a look at this chart, and if I go all the way back here in the back where Rolf likes to sit, okay, and I look at that chart, you know, from 1927 or whatever it is, it looks pretty much up. But if you get real close, there are a lot of really wild swings. We know that, right? We've lived through them. But this was through the Great Depression, World War II, Pearl Harbor, Kennedy assassination, Watergate, Black Monday, 9/11, the credit crisis. And yet it continues. Through wars, recessions, depressions, natural disasters, and catastrophic historical events, we find a way. Now, most of us, we don't have the time or the expertise necessary to found a big, huge company, let alone a bunch of companies, right? But we can, with just a little bit of money, and a little bit might be 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, whatever's little to you, can accumulate stakes in these companies. We can own small amounts of these companies all around the world. Now it happens, the miracle of free market happens right invisibly, right before our eyes.